I are gonna be working on that proposal. The goal would be to have a request for proposal out, review, interested applicants, and hopefully select an environmental engineer by the time the money's available October 1st.
Great, that sounds good. So that's all, I said everything was moving along, but I didn't really know what was going on, other than you've been meeting with people. It's pasture inspection
I'd like to make a motion that we sign the warrant for the annual town meeting
as written.
as amended.
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 Do I have a second?
You have a second.
All in favor? Wow, there we go.
Wow, we get through the first order of business.
All right.
But we did everything else in the meantime, so it's not too bad.
Did you get the warrant slash municipal election?
We did that one.
We did it.
You have the, where are the piles of everything you
That's
signed?
so
Good.
go under control.
Well, it's done. So we're gonna give you this, you wanna come up here and take this from us right now? You have to attest that we signed it, right?
Yeah.
So she's here. Okay, there
Does
is
she have to
the,
do the municipal election one too, or just that one?
does it need the municipal election one too, or just this one? Probably need both of them, right?
Yeah, well,
There you go. Thank you very much. You can guard those with your life, those are the only copies. Alright. Foreclosed properties are the only thing we need here. And executive session.
Making more change to election.
We're not making any more. That was a joke. What were you gonna tell us about foreclosed properties?
okay,
That's
so we're good?
Can you give all those things to Debbie as well, to put on her desk, she can take them, all the signed things?
Should we do this? I think I need to.
Yeah, we did.
We did both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, we did both letters. Okay, these are the warrants,
Those are all
Those
your
are the
things that you're
letters.
gonna need on Monday.
and these are
Those
the
are all the
appointments.
appointments.
Randy will need the
That's the
warrant tomorrow.
appointment. That's the
So,
warrant.
you wanna put those, the warrants on Randy's desk and those letters on John's desk for us, please? We just kind of made a big mess in here, we wanna make sure you get the proper papers. Thanks, Debbie.
Hey Debbie? We should also probably, put the abatements too on Randy's desk. Cause he said he's coming in for a little bit tomorrow.
We signed abatements as well. There's only one abatement.
Just one abatement, but he'll, and the sewer commitment.
So I think there's a tax map in here which has something to do with the
Okay,
foreclosed properties,
yeah.
so.
The last, selectmen's meeting was June 18th. June 19th was the foreclosure date. And we had 2 individuals with 4 counts up for foreclosure, and they went through.
I didn't increase that one, I didn't think it is. Well, that's the first time I did it. Really?
I didn't know about that one either.
If I did,
I don't remember.
I totally remember that. You check? You check that? She never told me that. Anyway, this is just for our information.
For your information.
So,
Both properties, do have personal items on it. So state statute says we contact the property owner, they have an amount of time to go through it, so it's gonna be an ongoing process.
So there's 2 lots on both of them?
I'm gonna double check that one, there, the second one, because I wasn't aware of that. Anyway, this now comes to the situation as to what I had pointed out in that article. So I'd like a legal clarification that can we in fact contact the previous owner, giving them the entire bill of all their past taxes, all their past sewer, and any legal costs that have incurred to the town, and would they come forward with all the money at once, that we come up with something like that? Because really, that would be the best thing in the town's most of the properties the town doesn't need.
Right.
For a good example, that there was one we just foreclosed on, it is now gonna cost us $3,000 to clean up. So I think it would be good, I don't know if we need to come up with a policy that they have 30 days after the initial, the finality of the foreclosure to come up with all, like, it's like pulling on, like, if you have a 30-year mortgage and you don't pay it for a while, they can yank the whole thing and say either you pay the whole balance or you're done. Something like that. I think something like that would be really helpful.
Yeah, there are state statutes that govern the policy of foreclosure rate to the final date, and those are the ones that we must follow.
But once we own the property, it's up to, then we have a choice. We now own the property, so we can make our own policy at that point. So I think it would be very nice that if we had, instead of having properties that we're not gonna make money on, I mean, maybe it's a great property and we want it, but most of the time, we should be lucky is that the people that owned it formerly want the property and allow them at a reasonable cost after paying all of their bills before it gets, the interest accrues astronomically, that they can come and get it back. That's just my opinion. That's something we're gonna do this evening.
No, this is just.
No,
information.
but, I agree that, I mean, we don't need all this property, and we don't want it. We encourage
So
So
people
you
I
wanna
to
think-
give
pay.
like a 30-day, here's the entire,
I think so.
Total,
I think that would be
quote,
great. We give them
one
a
last
30-day,
shot.
and this is it. You can come up with your $4,100 or your $6,200, your 30, whatever it is. And that, what it would benefit us, because we would have collected all of the back taxes and the sewer, and then we would, it would also be a feel good. They get their property back, and then we don't have to worry about it, insure it, and of course, I'm sure every once in a while there might be a prime property that we might, but you'd have to do it across the board to everybody.
Right.
You'd have to give everybody a chance, a last chance, and they would have to do all of the time. There's
And then
legal
it needs-
costs,
And if they don't comply with that after that.
then it goes for, then it's ours and we
It
put it to
immediately
sale.
has to be put out for bid.
Well, no, I think what we would do then
The
is,
longer you wait.
then it is ours, and we choose whether we put it out to bid or not, because there may be a property, let's say,
Well, I thought
the
that
old
was said that if you don't put it out to bid.
Well, that's why I questioned that article. Well, this isn't gonna happen this year, so that's gonna have to go forward the way it's written. But coming forward in the next town meeting, it would be nice if we had something else, some other avenue to rectify, we're getting too many foreclosed properties.
Right.
And so what we, instead of saying that the only way that we can give it back to a former owner is to putting out to bid, we give them a last chance with all the money they owe us plus legal fees, 30 days or whatever
we're gonna be up
to
to
come,
the
and
date.
then it becomes ours.
What's that?
Is there a set date or amount of days?
Well,
Well, they're
When
giving
it
warnings
goes to
before.
bid? No, but
if
when
it goes out to bid, it's,
But how
the
many-
owner has up until the time bids are due by other parties, by third parties.
But the problem with that
So
is,
it's
the
in-
problem with that
yeah.
on the perspective of the town, is you can hold on to a property for 2 years, not knowing whether in fact you want to put it out to bid or not, and all that while the former owner is accruing interest and legal costs and carry on all kinds of extra expenses, and we never know whether we really own it. In the way it's written now, we don't own it until we put it to bid.
Right.
And so let's say the Rexall, what did we do? We sold it for 18,000 or something, and maybe that would have been a nice park, maybe, but we didn't know if it was really ours, so it went to bid. So I think it's hard to do future projections on what you want to do with the town property if you never know if you really own it until, you can't plan. So I think it would help the former owner, give them a last chance to buy it back, and it would also help the town to know what we really own or don't own. So, but anyway, sorry. Are we done? Public comment, I think, and then we're going into executive session. Sorry, it was boring.
Yes, there is a public comment.
Yes.
Could you update the public on the status of the town's garage? Where are we? Are we still insured?
Yes, right now we are working with the contractor in San Salt Shed to move that project forward. The status of the current town garage, it is still covered under our insurance.
It's still covered?
Yes.
Okay. And is there a deadline on the insurance?
We haven't been given a firm deadline. I mean, our
Well-
insurance company will work with us as long as we're moving forward. But they haven't given us a deadline or a line in the sand.
Well, when does the policy renew? That would be the question. I mean, it depends on when the policy
Yeah,
renews.
Randy would be able to.
We can get that answer for you on Monday.
Okay, and are we going to have at some point a status update on where we are with the design process?
Yes, we are, actually, we should be ready within the next 2 weeks to give our recommendation. The committee will give the recommendation to the select board.
Within 2 weeks?
So the next meeting,
I think so.
before town meeting,
I think so, yeah.
because at that point, coming in August, we're going to be either reappointing, we may or may not have a committee, depends.
Right. Depends on if we're done.
Well, it depends on if the select board decides to go forward with an ad hoc committee.
Right. So, we
So I guess it
we
depends
will
on
be
their
ready by
recommendations.
the next select
Next
board
Monday,
meeting
right.
to give them a
To give
recommendation.
a recommendation?
That's
Okay.
great, so you're gonna be on the agenda?
I'll add it
The
to
next,
Yeah.
excellent.
Thank you
Anything
very
else?
much.
All right, thank you. Sorry for all the